What's up, everybody? Welcome here to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm your host for tonight's show, Rockin Robbie Billups, and it is time for the best comics of the month, the monthly comic book review, where me and a panel of esteemed comic book YouTubers and enthusiasts discuss our favorite comics of the month. Today, we're talking about our favorite comics of December. So, by the way, Happy New Year. Also, let's go back to last year and take a look at what we thought were the best comics in December. And then we got a special bonus because at the end of the show, what everybody's been waiting for all year long, we're going to find out lots of information about all of our picks combined up together to see who truly is the best of the best according to the panel that we've had throughout the year. And we're going to unmask the secret Marvel shill. So get ready, y'all. It's going to be a great show. And as always, we got the homies with us, including Nick from Comic Culture. What's up, man?
What's up, dude? Happy New Year and happy holidays, man. How you been?
Well, I've been great, dude. How you been?
Good. I've been doing all right. Did a lot of traveling for the New Year's. Just got home yesterday. When you announced yourself, I'm like, oh my God, we're talking about Stranger Things. Rockin Robin or Robin, right? From Stranger Things, the radio station. That's a collab waiting to happen, dude.
It is. So I gotta get Maya Hawk on the show. I would totally be down.
That'll be easy.
100%.
Yeah, dude. Glad to be here, man.
Heck yeah. But the next best thing outside of Rockin Robin would be Eric from 9 Panel Grid. What's up, homie?
What is going on, fellas? Here, Happy New Year. I gotta say, I'm really happy to be here today. I'm kind of nervous though. You know, Daredevil Cold Day in Hell came out this year, and I think I talked about it 3 times. And yeah.
Is that enough?
Yeah, I don't know, but we're gonna find out here by the end here.
Well, one person I guarantee is probably not the Marvel shill would be Greg from Bearded Comic.
What up? Here's the deal. If it's not Nick, Nick took over the duties this year, and so I'm gonna call a foul. Because I did it last year, so there was no bias. I feel like the numbers could be tilted if Nick doesn't get the Marvel shield this year. I'm just putting that out into the ethos now.
So
when Aaron wins it,
all right.
Well, you know, we got E with the Daredevil Cold Day in Hell. I don't know how often Stu talked about Dr. Doom, the One World Under Doom thing.
Right.
There was no Avengers Twilight though. That's why Nick fell in there last year.
Twilight and absolute. Or well, no. Yeah,
excuses right now.
I guess
I mean,
Ultimate kind of screwed us up too, right? Like, Ultimates.
Yeah.
And
I don't think it's me, but it could be funny. Did you count all picks or just the picks?
I can get into it. If I you had way more rapid fires than us, so I eliminated the rapid fires. I'm just doing pick of the month and then the subsequent best of picks. I left rapid fire out of that category for the shills in general because you would have been shill for everything. Because you had twice as many rapid fires as everybody else.
Dynamite shill.
Yeah, and it's funny because that's why Marvel's still like the #1 comic book publisher as far as like money they make because they publish more books, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, I think all of us would definitely say DC kind of had a hell of a year this year. So did other publishers. But before we get to the whole thing, the macrocosm, let's get back into the microcosm. Let's talk about December. For me, like to have a pick of the month to go 2 rounds, like it's slim. I'm going first is what I'm saying. I'm going first tonight. Okay. I'm going
He's
first.
pulling it out. He's pulling the card and saying, listen, I'm doing it. You're not stealing my pick this month.
Yeah. I mean, I've been nice, I think, for 11 months. And so tonight I want to kick us off with what I think is by far easily the best comic of the month. Giant Size Criminal.
Number 1.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's what it feels like, y'all.
Yeah. It's there. It's my number 2.
We all know what that feels like, but no, I absolutely love it. And okay, so it's Sean Phillips and it's Ed Brubaker. They've been doing Criminal for a very long time, right? There's a whole bunch of Criminal content out there. It's been re-released in new edition trade paperbacks. On FOC this weekend is actually the new original graphic novel for Criminal coming out. So be sure to keep an eye out for that. That will be dropping soon because the FOC is on Monday. Also, there's a TV show. There's a TV show coming. Ed Brubaker is severely or significantly attached to it, I should say. I'm really excited for it. Now, I haven't read all of Criminal, right? I mean, it got to a point where Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips basically did like 3 graphic novels a year, it felt like, for a point, right? And they were doing amazing work, not just Criminal, outside of Criminal, books like Kill or Be Killed, Fatale, a personal favorite of mine. There's anything with their names attached to it, check it out. Like it's 100% definitely worth checking out. And I think was Sleeper their first collab? Sleeper was the two of them, right?
That was the Wildstorm book, right? Yes. Yeah. Then that was the first one.
Yeah. And then they just developed this way of working. Anyway, so for instance, I've never read all of Criminal, right? And you don't have to. You can pick up any single one of those books and read it. And what was so perfect about Giant Size Criminal is if you are familiar with the series, it gives you a little bit more information on some of the characters and some of the world. Just a little tiny bit. Another story, another slice of the criminal life, if you will. And if you're not familiar, you just get a really great crime fiction story that's expertly rendered and very strategically told. And this one cracked me up, dude. This dude's got to go and like, all he's got to do is wait for this dude to get done with like a poker game or something. So he's just got to wait in his hotel room, stick him up, and take his money and leave. Instead, what he does, what he thinks is coke, it turns out to be heroin. Little bit of luckily he didn't Pulp Fiction himself. That could have gone way worse. But then it just becomes this crazy, hilarious, kind of darkly hilarious romp, basically like a crime fiction dark comedy romp that I absolutely loved. And if you've never read Criminal and you've always been interested, this book was perfect. And even though Criminal, like when Saga disappears for like a few years and comes back, I wind up shedding readers on it. But Criminal is a book that continues to gain readership, at least at my shop, and I think across the board. And I think if that show comes out and pops, it's going to be even crazier. So y'all get in on Criminal. Nick, you read it. What'd you think?
I loved it. I actually didn't get into Criminal until this past year. So Eric really turned me on to that. And so I've been binging as much Criminal as I can. You're right. You can jump in and read kind of pretty much any criminal story you want to, any volume you want. The beauty of it though is it has a Sin City feel to it, whereas you read it and then you can see all the connected stories. So, you know, the quick example I always say is you might follow a dude that goes into a bar, talks to a bartender. This lady comes up, you see some shifty dudes in the corner. The next volume is those two shifty dudes in the corner talking, and you see the guy talking to the girl at the bar. It's a very interconnected story, and it's awesome, man. Like the quality of it, it has that newspaper vibe to it too, so it has really good production value. And it's just great crime noir. It's perfect. I'm not all through it all as well, but I loved this issue. It was in my top 3 for sure of the month. I love that we're going to be getting them. I love that they're reprinting them right now, trade paperback. You're right. There is one coming up in FOC, so make sure to grab those. Jump in anywhere. You're going to have a blast. Go back to volume 1 though and read it through because it's awesome. And then read Sin City because it feels the same and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's got a lot of Sin City isms, but in a different kind of approach, just slightly different, right?
Yeah, more realism.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Brubaker's not writing as hard boiled as Frank Miller does, you know, but that's kind of part of the charm of Sin City, right? And Criminal definitely does feel more grounded. What about you, Eric? I know you got thoughts.
Yes, this was if you've never read Criminal, perfect introduction into that world because it's a one and done story, which most of them, like you guys said, like, I mean, any point in this universe is kind of an entry point, which is a great problem to have. This issue in particular, though, I feel like there was a level of humor that was brought to it that really was entertaining and different than any other criminal story that I've had. Like, Robbie, you had mentioned kind of the little mistake that he had made thinking he's taking cocaine and it's not so much. I love how they keep calling back to that as time goes on. He's like, and then I took a bath and fell asleep and I forgot why I was even there, why I was even at the heist. And then he remembers what he's supposed to be doing, gets in a fight with a dude, and then he's just like, well, part of my superpower right now is that I'm basically numb because of what's happened here. So I could totally take this guy on right now. The level of an F up that our main character Ricky is in this is just like it's so entertaining and so endearing in a way for a low life kind of character like this. It's just the perfect kind of thing for Brubaker to kind of tackle. Great entry point. I've been like fiending for another criminal story, and this was absolutely what I needed this year. So really excited for this. Really excited for the TV show.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the TV show is going to have a little bit more of a comedic flair. I wonder if that's something that, you know, I could imagine a studio kind of putting something like that in there. Like, let's Guy Ritchie this up just a little bit. I wonder if that's why that tone's in here. Or if it's just Ed Brubaker having fun, trying not to, I mean, obviously he's busy, maybe just trying to like, how he probably wrote that thing in like 20 minutes or something, right?
Yeah. Well, he's show running right now. So you said he was involved. Like he is like all over that show. He is the actual showrunner on it. So like I have to imagine whatever it turns out being is exactly what he would want it to be. So that's again another level of excitement.
And this was Tracy Lawless, right? So I haven't read all of Criminal, but I don't remember what I've read so far him being a particularly like comedic character either.
This is Ricky Lawless.
Oh, it was Ricky Lawless. Tracy was the veteran, but the vet. That's right.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, never mind. He was the guy that was kind of like the F up kind of dude. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, that makes sense.
And they got those cool things in the back, like the little strips, like on the set, right? Those are always fun.
Yeah,
it reminded me of Fortune and Glory, actually. Greg, did you read this one?
I missed out on it. I thought it was just a reprint of a Criminal book, and I'm still like y'all. I started to get into it this year. And because of Eric's like, you got to read it. And so I'm slowly getting into it. And I wish you guys would do a show that would talk about comics coming up. So I would have known that it was actually not a reprint, but like, I thought it was a reprint. So I was like, I'll just skip it. But if I knew it was an actual news story, I would have just read it. But
I've heard that a couple times now in my comments too. They said, I thought it was just another reprint because they've been doing that too. So
because it was a giant size thing. That's what threw me off. I don't think it's been released like this, has it? In a giant size format, and usually if you do giant size, it's a reprint of something, right?
It's never had a giant size, and they've had floppies before, but those it's been a long time since we've gotten.
So to go right into a giant size, I thought it was a reprint of something. And I was like, I don't know where this is in the whole world of Criminal, but I'm excited because I did actually for the first time just read all of the Sin Cities. And so I get that vibe that you're talking about of like how the Marv's in the bar here, and then all of a sudden, what's her name's doing something that, and it's like, that's cool. So I'm excited. That makes me even more excited than to continue into this world. I think I've only done the first volume of Criminal.
I'm very excited that you read Sin City, dude. That's awesome.
Dude, it was a blast. I got all 7. They looked great on the shelf, and I had a blast with it.
Yeah, Damien, Sleepy Reader 66 says if you watch Robbie's show before you go to the shop, then you know what to pick up, Greg.
I know. I wish I did.
Yeah. And then afterwards you could always watch these two gentlemen shows, and then they'll let you know too. And they'll even do it with like production value.
They'll actually sum it up. Yeah. Watch the end of the year videos. Those were top notch.
I know. I was watching that. I was like, bro, I'm literally just going to sit here and ramble, dude. Like put like 3 images per book, whatever I can find on Google Images.
I was like, I should do a year-end video. And I watched theirs. I'm like, nah. It's too more insightful. It's production. I'm like, people don't need mine.
We don't need to give them too much credit, man. That it's AI.
It's just all AI. I just go in ChatGPT and type it up.
I knew it.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sin City, family value severely underappreciated. As far as the out of the hole. I revisited them not too long ago, but I didn't. When I got to Hell and Back, I just said I'll just move on to something else. That's what
there's a few that are kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, what's your pick of the month?
I think Criminal was the pick of the month. I think my runner up was Sacrificers issue 18. Man, Sacrificers was solid as hell, man. It's great because I forget what the time jump is. It's decades, right? It's like 30 years or so. It's something crazy. It's a little bit of a time jump from when Saluna and Pigeon take over the Pantheon, you know what I mean? So we basically wiped out all the gods. We wiped out Dad, and she's taken the throne. She's pulling double duty as the moon and the sun at the same time, taking on her mom's role and her father's role. There's a heavy toll to that. Pigeon's doing the best he can to make up all these different machines and regenerative processes. There's kids involved. They got their kids there too to like help mom out. And it really kind of shows you like they raged against the machine, right? They were successful at it. Now they have to replace it. And they're not as successful, arguably. And so it's like, man, be careful what you wish for kind of stuff. I thought it had a great message to it. I thought the art was a little bit a step back, generally speaking. It had its moments that worked really well. But I think the drama of it, the realization of how hard it really is to maintain a society like that, as flawed as it was, I think that was a really cool idea and a message that we don't see too often. And I like the predicament that we're in. We have Pigeon's, brother or sister, coming into, and there's some fighting going on now because he's boots on the ground. He sees the repercussions of all these actions now and how sick and desperate the population has become. So I didn't know where this story was going to go. The time jump surprised me, and this whole situation surprised me too. So I would love where Sacrificer is going. 18 issues in, it's still one of the best books on the shelf right now. And blown away by it. I love that one this month.
Yeah, it was fantastic. In fact, this whole arc has been astounding. Like the time jumps. I think Rick Remender said something in one of the back matter bits about wanting to kind of start where he thought most people would end this arc, right? Because the story's been building up, and I'm pretty sure that this is the final arc of the book, right?
I think so. Yeah.
And so he's covering so much ground, and he's actually giving us more than I was expecting, because typically in a story like this, the people who are revolting against the evil tyranny, right, of these gods, they would become victorious or they would die. It would be like one of those kind of endings, and
then happy ever after, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Right. But they take over, and then we're dealing with the ramifications of it. And I love the nuance of that message. Like sometimes we get so wrapped up in it shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't be like this. And then you finally get that change, but you don't know what to change it to because you've spent too much time thinking about what it shouldn't be. You never really thought about what it should be.
Or how hard it is to actually do that job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. So I really, really like that. What about you, E?
Yeah, it's great. It's yeah, you hit the nail on the head. The word is nuance, right? And that's what this entire series has been. And this is absolutely what this last arc has been all about. We were talking about this on Wednesday on Ink and Insights, and it's almost like Rick Remender making the argument of the devil you know and the devil that you don't, right? It's like, I mean, they all, saw the problems with the previous regime, what they were doing, the sacrificees and what was happening. But do they have answers? Like they fought this fight, and Pigeon, he bested Kronos and all this kind of stuff. Does it mean anything? Has it caused more problems now for society and whatever you would call humanity?
Yeah,
maybe. Like it's crazy. It's crazy to think about that, because I don't know. It's that level of intricacy that Remender brings to a lot of his storylines, right? There's always like a hint of nihilism and a hint of hopefulness that you get from each one of these. The interesting part that I thought about this issue, though, is that the sister who Saluna protected, right, like through thick and thin, stopped her from being sacrificed. The sister is still the one that's going to her saying, what you're doing is effing everything up, right? You're the reason that society is going bad, even after she was protected and essentially saved as a child. It's just crazy layers of all the stuff that he's bringing to the story here. But yeah, this arc has been astounding. It's one of the best Remender stories that we've gotten, which speaks volumes, because the dude has put out fantastic stories through and through.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got such an amazing library of work. And I mean, Deadly Class, Escape, which is one, so we might be talking about that one at some point, right? He's got so many great books, Grommets, and those are more recent ones. And he's also got some really great work over at Marvel. Like his Uncanny X-Force is really good. And at first I didn't really vibe with his Captain America. And I'm talking about pre-Sam Wilson taking over, but like the Dimension Z stuff, I wasn't super vibing with that stuff until I read for the first time Kirby's 70s run on Cap. And then I was like, oh man, I get it now. I get it. So Rick Remender's great, and Sacrificers, I think, might be my favorite work from him. Are you reading this one, Greg? I don't remember.
I was. My LCS had some issues over the summer, if you all remember. And in that part, I lost track of where I was. So I kind of have been trade waiting to catch up. But I'm up. I think I'm up through issue 12, and it's been one of my favorite Remender books. And I just reread Black Science. I just did Fear Agent, Deadly Class last year. So they're all, I'm a huge Rick Remender fan. So I'm so excited to catch up, and everything that you guys are talking about. This is great. I swear I read comics this month. Apparently I didn't read the two best ones so far. So what are you going to do?
Hey, they're coming up. That's good.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what Eric's got for you.
Well, it's a Marvel book, so I haven't read it. So we're over 3.
Darn.
What's your pick of the month?
Okay. Definitely would have been Criminal. Sacrificers may have been my second choice too. This is definitely something that was in contention. I don't think it's going to drive a lot of conversation though, because I might be the only person that read it. The finale of Green Arrow by Chris Condon and Montos, man, this was an absolutely fantastic run, absolutely fantastic series. I'm so sad that people aren't hip to Green Arrow the same way that they are to Batman, to, any of the, greater pantheon of superheroes, because, man, what a fantastic street level story that Chris Condon got to tell, and got to really put that end cap on it. So the story really revolves around not Oliver Queen taking on a villain or anything like that. It's very simply him having a conversation on a rooftop, both in the past and the present day. So he's talking to the police commissioner, and what's kind of revealed is that in the past, he was on the rooftop when she needed him the most as a child, when she was going through some domestic abuse kind of situation, a separated parent. And you come to the revelation that, you know, he kind of drove her down this path to kind of join the police force and was an inspiring part of her, you know, upbringing, right? And it's not the first time we've ever heard that story, but Chris Condon really brought so much heart and empathy to that, to the final issue of this, that it really hit hard with me. I've been a fan of Green Arrow, the character, for quite a while now. He's kind of like, he's neck and neck for Daredevil with like my street level, like, you know, faves, right? But man, this one, it's so bittersweet. It's such a great way for this series to go out, but it's just such a shame that it did need to end. But Green Arrow number 31, that would be my pick.
Yeah, I didn't read it. I think I only read the first couple of issues of his run after the Williamson stuff. And to be honest with you, I almost checked out during the Williamson stuff, even though I thought it was fine. Like, I don't know, man. I like the character of Green Arrow, but it's hard for me to stay interested long term in a run for Green Arrow for some reason. Even when I go back and try to read the Mike Grell stuff, I just kind of phase out eventually. I just kind of like fade out and just doesn't really work for me. But you know what? I've been hearing so many great things from you about it. And I just wouldn't say I'm completely sold on Chris Condon as much as like you are, but he did write one of my favorite books of the year, which was News from the Fallout. So I'm very interested to check out more of his work and give it another chance.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Greg, did you read this one? It was DC.
I did read this one.
Hey.
And I am on the Chris Condon fan train with Eric. Once he got announced, I was a huge fan of his work with Texas Blood, and like to see him get to do a little bit in the big two, because it was the same time when Ultimate Wolverine was announced. This one worked for me a lot, and I was really sad to see that he did not, you know, that it just Green Arrow didn't connect with people. I was behind on my book, so when I read the last issue, issue 30 before this one, I was like, he still has one more issue left. How's he going? You know, but they wrapped up the story basically. So I was like, where are they going with this? And I thought it was a very good end cap to the run that Chris wanted to do with Green Arrow. He took away everything that Williamson was doing of like Green Arrow in space and family. And it was just like, it's all just Green Arrow. The other characters exist. They get talked about a little bit and some of them come in, but this was very much, like Eric said, very grounded. And that's what I like. That's a superhero. Like I gravitate towards him. I gravitate towards Daredevil, and to just kind of see like what he was bringing and the kind of the backstory that he was adding to it of how Oliver Queen got to be the type of Green Arrow he was. I just thought, like, again, it's not the whole hero inspiring a kid to go up, be a cop. And that conversation was not like necessarily anything groundbreaking of like, oh, we've seen this. But I thought it could have been done poorly, and I thought he did a very good job at it.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Nick, did you check this one out?
No, I haven't been reading that one. What issue did it end on?
Like 31.
Yep.
Yeah, so it had some legs to it. Yeah.
So.
I never got Green Arrow's never a character I really got into. I didn't really ever get into that, and it was just too far down the list.
How many did Josh do? Did Josh do?
He did up to like what,
18 or something, or
some 16 or 18, one of those two, and that's when jumped on.
Because Condon came in and did one with Joshua, and then I want to say it was like 19 was Condon's first run issue.
Was Condon's edition with Condon coming on? Was it a good place to jump on at that point?
Yes.
Or
Condon,
is
yes.
Stuff like
so you go from Condon's first issue. It is basically, it's not a reset. It's just is a brand new arc in the story, and there's basically 2 arcs on his run, and it's only like 11. It's worth it. I really like it, and I'm not a huge Green Arrow fan, but I hopped on because of Condon.
Yeah, 12 issues isn't hard to get through, especially if that's a good jumping on point when he starts it. So okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, probably 2 nice trade paperbacks available, right? You know, I guess the last one's about to come out.
Yeah.
Cool. What about you, Greg? What's your pick of the month?
I'm gonna go with an Image comic. Well, Kyle Stark's Wrestle Heist.
Oh, dang it.
Listen, I'm a stand for Kyle Starks. And when Kyle Starks writes and draws, this, you know, he did that book of The Legend of Ricky Thunder, the wrestler, kind of in the long form book. I just love his cartoon style characters. If you are a pro wrestling fan, I think this is a lot of fun of what happens when a pro wrestler gets screwed over by the promoter. And he's like, you know what? We're going to rob them on their WrestleMania night. And he gets a whole bunch of other guys into it. And it just is fun. It's not as completely over the top that you get with like, Assassination Nation or some of those other ones he does. This is a little more grounded, if you want to say so much, but it just is. It's Kyle Stark's witty humor, which I love, and I think humor's always hard to do in a comic. So like when he brings it to a book, and then just my love of professional wrestling, kind of the behind the scenes and how they interact with people and what that is. I think he does a great job with it, and you can see like he even talked with like current WWE officials and stuff, so like their insight on kind of the behind the scenes and stuff. I thought it was just really done. It was a lot of fun. I think if you're a pro wrestling fan or a Kyle Starks fan, any one of those camps, you got to check the book out.
Well, I am a wrestling fan and I am a Kyle Starks fan, and I did thoroughly enjoy the book. It was basically like, what if after the Montreal screw job, Bret Hart goes and robs Vince McMahon during WrestleMania, right? That's like basically it. And Kyle is such a funny dude, right? I've had the pleasure of meeting him in person several times, and he is so funny when you talk to him. And he really does translate that onto the page. And his art style isn't a grounded art style. It's definitely cartooning, and it's definitely like exaggerated, and it's got its style, and it feels like it would fit within like the universe of Rick and Morty or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And he has he
Didn't
ever
he
done
write Rick and Morty for a while too?
He should have. He would be the perfect guy. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But I loved it. I thought it was great. I understood exactly what they're doing. Like you said, the behind the scenes kind of stuff, making it zany, making it fun. There is not all crossover, like not every wrestling fan is a comic book fan and vice versa, but there is a big section of people that are comic book fans and wrestling fans. They are very similar, especially with superhero comics, right? And that's why I think there's always like a wrestling comic of the year, pretty much, right? And when you think about it, you wouldn't think that there's a ton of comics about wrestling, but then when you think about it, you're like, man, Crimson Cage, Over the Ropes,
do a power bomb,
this one, the Squared Circle, right? Remember that one shot, that big one shot?
Chris Condon did.
Chris Condon did that one? That's a good one.
I wasn't gonna say it, but
I did. I was.
You should say it. You should say it. His Ultimate Wolverine, though, I just could not get into that one. But I want to check those back out, man. Anyway, Wrestling Wrestle Heist. I loved it. I thought it was great. What about you, Nick? You got thoughts? Did you read it?
Yeah, I did read it. I checked it out. I thought it was great. Yeah, I mean, it was one of those palate cleanser books. I think, to be honest with you, like it was a book that kind of like threw some levity into the week. It was a fun read. It gave you a little bit behind the scenes of how that kind of stuff can go down. I like the convention talk too. Like he goes to the old timer at the end and like kind of talks to him, and they kind of put a plan together. And I've been to plenty of cons before where there's like old time wrestlers sitting around and chatting with people. So that was kind of cool. So we'll see. I don't know if it's a book I'll continue reading, but I had fun with it. It was a good little humorous book. If you're into wrestling, why not check it out for sure? And Kyle Starks is a cool dude. He's always fun to talk to.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, E?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I don't think any of us, but like I don't think anyone could ever have anything bad to say about Kyle Starks. He's such a happy, nice, witty dude. I didn't read this, but it's kind of funny because just earlier today I was recording a video and I had made mention of Pine and Merrimack, and as soon as I said it, I'm like, dang, man, I haven't read a Kyle Starks book in a long time, and I feel like I need to do that. It feels like something like I need my life right now. So maybe I got to circle back around. I got to check this one out.
He's got another one,
Devil on My Shoulder or something, launched. Right?
Yeah, Devil on My Shoulder. That one's pretty good. Because that's what's funny is he'll do like horror too. Like, and he'll do like horror comedy, but he'll also just do some straight up horror stuff. And like Pine and Merrimack was a really fun book, dude. A really good book. He's really good, very versatile.
And he did that serial killer book last year of like them trying to see who could one up each other as serial
Where
killers.
Monsters Lie.
Where Monsters Lie, cul-de-sac. Yeah.
No. The other one where they were the two competing serial killers.
Yes.
Who were trying to get the kill count.
What was that book called?
Great.
There were like two completely Those Not Afraid.
Those Not Afraid. Yeah.
Jay coming in for the win.
That was pretty. Yeah. Thank you, Jay. That was pretty freaking fun. Pretty freaking fun. All right. So that's round one. Look at that. 30 minutes. See what happens when we don't have Stu here? All right. Let's go into round two. Fuck, I guess it's my turn then. Man, I get both of my two picks. That's awesome. I'm going with the most normie of normie picks, but it's the truest of true picks. Absolute Batman number 15, the origin of the absolute Joker, with artwork by Jock, a story by Scott Snyder. I loved it. And this is why I'm loving Absolute Batman. Y'all know my thoughts when it first started. I think we all kind of had some of the same thoughts. We were like, it's all right. Like, I don't get why people are like so hype on it. Like, it's kind of dumb. It's kind of stupid. But man, Scott kind of does that, especially at DC. And when eventually when I let go, I just get into it. And it was that Abomination story, man, that Bane story really leveled up. And I'm like, okay, is it just the fact that I love Bane and I love the way that Nick Dragotta drew Bane, or is Scott really developing something interesting? Because at first, the idea that Batman's rogue gallery are basically his best friends, I didn't like that idea. I wanted Batman to be alone, right? Man, it's actually more tragic, I think, now, seeing what's developing in this book. But then we get to the fill-in issue. Think about that, y'all. This is just a fill-in issue, right? You know, Nick Dragotta's not on it. Jock comes in. Let's just do a story telling the origin of the absolute Joker. And let's just say 2 years ago, we sit down in a room with a bunch of people and we're like, hey man, we got this idea about the Joker being this like demonic, monstrous jester type character. And he's going to be like immortal and this, and he's going to look like this, and he's going to have teeth like this. And this is what we're doing. And we're actually going to swap the idea that he's the rich guy instead of Bruce Wayne and this, and everybody, including us, be like, that's the dumbest shit. Nobody wants that. They want the Joker to be the Joker. Man, did everybody apparently want this? Did everybody grab a hold of it? It sold, 300,000 copies, and it sold out like everywhere, already commanding more of a price online. Now, I know some people are into it because of the spec now, right? But I see in my shop young people, like people in their 20s, snatching up Absolute Batman, buying them, reading them, coming in and signing up for volume 2 so that it's not missing from the shelf when they come in. Like Batman number 1 keeps disappearing. Every time I get an order of trades in, it goes out, the distributor's out, they get more in, I order a shit ton, they disappear, then they're out, and then, you know what I'm saying? So I'm getting pre-orders out the yazoo. It's the way at the height of Walking Dead, where we had as many subscribers for Walking Dead trades as we did a mid-level Marvel comic, like single issue. Like, that's crazy. Like we don't usually get a lot of subscribers to trade paperback series. You know what I'm saying? But it's happening with Batman. Issue number 15, though, Jock killed it. The repeated imagery, but then the dark version of it, I loved that. I loved how relevant Scott is making this Gotham, this Batman, and these villains feel today. He said that in the beginning of the run. He said, I want it to feel and reflect on today's fears and today's expressions. And I get it now. I totally get it. And his Joker is one of the most heinous and evil versions of the Joker. And I think bringing Jock in for that issue in particular was great. I think the only thing they missed out on was basically having him recreate that famous Detective 881 or 880 cover, but with this version of the Joker. Yeah, but maybe we'll get that for a second print or something. Anyway, Absolute Batman number 15. I'm absolutely sold on this book now, and it is definitely one of my most anticipated books to read. And issue 15 just killed it. I was really worried what was going to happen after Abomination. I know it's just a single issue story. We'll see what the next big thing is, because they're building some Poison Ivy stuff up. But man, I think Scott and Nick and everybody else are definitely on a roll. And I think Absolute Batman is definitely worth the hype. And that's a rarity. When everybody's hyped on a book, it doesn't always live up to that hype. This one, I think, is actually earning that hype, right? Like, I think it's getting better and better. Absolute Batman, what do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I love the issue. It's cool to see them build up this character, the Joker, as like this worldwide threat instead of this Gotham like lunatic, right? So it's cool to see how resourceful he is, how he really took the origin of like the Waynes in general and flipped it up on its head. Like, oh, he has all these orphanages everywhere. Oh, isn't that nice? Well, no, not so much, man. He's into some stem cell shit or something like that. He's tapping into that somehow to keep himself alive. He's got all these hunting islands all over the place for these CEOs that doesn't want to do battle with. Is he immortal? Does he have a family tree? Is he part of a legacy? Who knows? Is he the same dude? We're trying to figure all this out. I love that. And they tell the whole story through a conversation between Bruce and Alfred. And, you know, he said, this is what I report on. This is what I found. These are the facts. But what do you think? What do you think? Like, you know, what are you trying to say? That kind of stuff throughout the entire issue. I just love that narration. A little bit repetitive, but it was kind of cool way to unveil what Alfred really thinks about what's going on here. And they couldn't have made the guy more demonic. You know what I mean? Not only is he hunting humans, like I said, but he's, you know, getting into the regenerative process of, you know, consuming these kids in some kind of weird way. And then he's got the mansion, like you said, they're kind of flipping the script. So they're taking the Waynes, they're taking Bruce, what we know about them, and they're putting it on the Joker, and they're making him this worldwide, super secret, just infiltrated every type of landscape possible kind of a dude. And he's going to be a formidable threat later. And I like that the one shot came in. Now we have a little bit of an idea what we're going to be up against, but we're kind of deviating a little bit for a few issues, going into the Poison Ivy stuff. This is going to make for a great conclusion, whatever that might be, or just another arc to kind of ease into later, because there's no end to this as far as I'm aware announced yet. They're going to keep going as long as it keeps selling. So I was blown away by it. It was a creepy issue. The dude's going to be a threat whenever he comes up, and I'm excited for it. I love that they brought Jock in for it. It's kind of poetic to bring him back in with Scott on this issue in particular.
It brings a sense of dark mystery back to the Joker. Like almost like maybe like I remember the first time in theaters. I'm in like third grade, or I'm about to go into third grade, and we're watching Batman. Begged my parents to take me, and you know Jack Nicholson's there. He gets hurt. You don't see what he looks like. You haven't seen what the Joker looks like yet, right? And he comes and he starts shooting Jack Palance and all that shit, and you can see him just a little bit in the shadow. And I remember being scared of the Joker. Like legitimately scared for the first time in my life. This isn't the Joker that was on Batman and Scooby-Doo. You know what I'm saying? This dude's like killing people and he's threatening and it's dark and it's different, you know? And I absolutely, this is bringing that kind of a vibe in it, a dark mystery, scary nature to the Joker. And I'm like, on paper, it seems so stupid, but it absolutely works. What about you, Eric? What do you think?
Man, Absolute Batman has so much working for it right now that it's just like everything just seems to be lining up perfectly. And you all know right here on this show, I've had beef. I've had issues with Absolute Batman. I did not get behind the beginning of the Bane story. And the further that went along, the more I was just like, okay, I get it. Okay, I'm enjoying it. Okay, this is like one of the best comic series that's on stands right now. Like it skyrocketed for me. And this issue was such a nice little one-shot kind of experience that we get to see here that it was just perfect, right? I love the framing device that we get here where it's really just a conversation between Bruce and Alfred as Alfred's kind of giving him the dossier, right? The file on the man who is the Joker. And then Bruce is like, okay, yeah, but like, what do you know about him? And then we get the next iteration of it. We get Alfred kind of giving more details, and it reframes everything that we've seen. And Jock did's like a really great a great version of like each page, right? Because we kind of get the same layout every time, but then we get more details of it, and it becomes more devious and more devilish as Alfred kind of relays more of the details of who this person is. Expertly done. And Robbie, you had mentioned it too. I like that Scott is taking this from a more right here and right now approach, right? Like, who is the villainous entity, right? It's not it's, you know, not the way that Bruce Wayne previously was, or I'm sorry, it's not the way he is now. It's the way that he, you know, was in the DC proper. It's the billionaire playboy. That's the villainous character right now, especially knowing what's going on in the world. So it's a really cool reframing of everything. It's a really cool reframing of the things that are happening in this issue. I can't believe that Absolute Batman is one of my favorite comics, like month in and month out now. I didn't see this coming a mile away, but I'm really happy it's here.
Heck yeah. Glad to hear it. What about you, Greg?
I've said this on the show at time and time again. I don't love Absolute Batman. And I think I finally have figured out what I don't like. I've always struggled with Scott Snyder's take on villains of making them the over the top grotesque aspect. He did it with the Joker in the New 52 run, right? With the tearing off his face. Like, I think the body horror stuff doesn't work for me for whatever reason when I'm reading Batman. So to have the over the top Bane, the over-the-top Killer of the Croc. Like, I was really loving the structure of this issue. I thought it was wonderful storytelling, you know, just to get the, oh, you think, you know, and then you get a little bit another viewpoint and stuff like that. And then when we get to the lizard demon-esque Joker, I'm like, that doesn't work for me for whatever reason. Maybe because I'm a Batman purist at heart, like, and this just doesn't work. But I've said it time and time again. I will never discourage this book because what it is doing is getting people into the shops. And if that's what it takes to get people into the shops to read, I'm all for it, because we have thousands of other Batman books. And there's a lot that I'm like, no, this is better Batman, but fine. If this is getting people into buying stuff, I'm fine with it. But I think that's where it is, because I really like the storytelling of this. You know, I wasn't there when we talked about the annual, I'm sure, but that wasn't the over the top villains as much as, and so I like that storytelling aspect of the absolute Batman. I think that's where it is, where it's just not working for me, as those over the top body horror villain characters don't work for me, like Mr. Freeze and things like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, that makes total sense, dude. That's fair to say, dude. 100%. For me personally, man, this is like my favorite Killer Croc. Like, I'm actually like, I feel bad for him. Yeah. He's such a more tragic villain to me, you know, and I'm just, at the very beginning, I was like, if you're trying to tell me that Waylon is Bruce's best friend and they like train together and all that, that's so stupid. That's so stupid. I also do you love the dig? I think it's a dig. If it's not a dig, it's just a funny, silly thing to do. But every time Dick Grayson has shown up, he says, fuck Batman. Oh, like from that Titans show, right? Shit cracks me up, because I also feel like Scott's just having fucking fun, dude. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Like, and Nick is just, Dragata is just, I mean, this book is, I don't know. I love what it's doing. And and I love what you say, because, you know, I'm not the biggest fan, Greg, of Batman Hush, and I think it's a terrible Batman starter comic.
Yeah.
But a lot of people pick it as their first entry point. A lot of people stick with Batman and then ultimately through that into other work, and then they wind up sticking with comics. So, you know, if it works, it works. And it's just, I'm kind of right there with you too, Eric. I just fucking can't believe like how much I love this book now compared to my thoughts a year ago.
Yeah.
Right. So nuts. Like last year, I was so high on Absolute Wonder Woman. I put it on my top 20 of the year when it only had 3 issues out. Right. And then this year it was like way down, and I put it high up on my fucking list last year too. I also had Tom King's Wonder Woman on my list, but my thoughts, I guess, on Wonder Woman have changed this year. Heck yeah. Nick, round 2. What's your next pick, man?
We're going with Geiger, issue number 19. We have the Nuclear Woman coming in strong with this issue, man. Jeff Johns, Gary Frank, Brand Ederson coming back, doing some amazing work with Ash. She's coming in. She's seeking revenge. She's trying to find Geiger. She, you know, the experiment that she had to go back to normal did not work, and she's taking her revenge out on some people in this book. What's just brilliant about the Ghost Machine universe, and I talked about this in my reviews, was like they don't waste any opportunity to create more lore in this world. So she stops a convoy of, you know, basically human traffickers, you know, turning into slaves of various kinds. These people are scumbags. She wipes out these guys. She saves these kids and these young adults. And she kind of, you know, moves on after she trains them to learn how to defend themselves. And those people, those kids, those young adults, they become an army and myth and legend in the land themselves, to the point where there's a bio about them at the end of the issue. And it's just incredible that they can take that, which would normally be kind of like a throwaway thing. Like, oh, she comes in, she saves the day, she moves on. Those kids are safe and they live their life and whatever. No, they become the St. Louis Strays, and there's a bio on them, and they have abilities, and people fear them. You know what I mean? Like powers that were holding people down in the past. They think of this as like a ghostly entity that's coming in and disrupting the normal work that they do. And it's such a cool idea to not throw that away and to kind of build this world out. The Ghost Machine universe is so well built out at this point that I'm loving living in this, even for these little one shots like this. And I cannot wait for the Northerner to come back and mess around with Geiger. And we have Redcoat sneaking in here and there, and Junkyard Joe. My dad read Junkyard Joe this past week, and he loved it, man. He was like, this is an incredible book. You know what I mean? And he remembers Vietnam and all this stuff and coming out and, you know, having fun. And with that comic is insane. They're doing an amazing job. And this book just keeps proving every quarter or every month that it comes out that it's just one of the best books out right now. and this one in particular, adding to that world building and taking a spin-off character or a derivative character, really making it her own thing, and just impacting the world in general. So hell of a job of that creative team, but keeping this world interesting.
Yeah, I love it, man. The Glowing Woman is such a cool character, right? And Geiger, and this was such an impactful issue coming after like a couple of issues of that were good, but you didn't really have Gary Frank there, and it just kind of was kind of doing its own thing. And then you come into this, and it was so focused tightly in on her and her journey, and adding depth to that character. She could just be the evil version of Geiger. She could be the reverse Geiger, the bizarro Geiger. She could just easily be that. But there's depth to that character. She actually does have intentions that to her seem pure, right? And the best villains in these crazy operatic superhero stories are villains who truly believe that what they're doing is the right thing, right? People like Doctor Doom, people like Lex Luthor, people like Mojo Jojo, right? So when you have that level of depth to a character, it really elevates the story. And like you said, the world building, I love that they continue to expand this world. And it's so paced with how Jeff Johns is sprinkling in Redcoat here, Northerner there, Junkyard Joe there. And they're not blowing their load. They're not doing it too quickly, right? They're taking their time to really delicately build this up. And a superhero universe, one continuity, but it's not just spread across geography, it's spread across time. And that's so freaking cool. I love Geiger, and having Frank and Anderson back was just exceptional. And I love the Glowing Woman. In fact, I think I'm developing a little bit of a crush on her. Speaking of developing crushes,
you better get in line, because Stu is all about it right now.
Yeah, exactly.
This is his territory.
E, what do you think about Geiger?
Man, great issue. Before I forget, I think it's kind of interesting so far. So we've gone over Giant Size Criminal, standalone issue. Absolute Batman, standalone issue. Green Arrow, essentially standalone issue. Geiger, standalone issue. Kind of an interesting way that December is wrapping up here. I think that the strength of not only this issue, but like the series in full for Geiger, but maybe just Jeff Johns, what he does is I feel like there's a formulaic nature to the way that he writes, but I don't mean that as a bad thing. Because a lot of times when I'm reading an issue, what I'm thinking about is like, okay, what's the point of this issue? Sometimes they're developing characters. Sometimes the plot, the narrative needs to be moved forward. Sometimes they need to fulfill the world building, right? And I feel like more so than most writers that I read nowadays, Jeff Johns is on like 3 tracks. He's kind of taking care of all of those things in every single issue of the book that we're reading, where like all of those get a little bit of love. And, most times people can't do that. And this is another great example of that. I feel like the world has gotten bigger, especially with the end cap that we get in this issue, but we get a lot of character development with Ash Arden, like where we start to see some of the change, because she had a plan, and that plan went astray, right? Didn't work out for her, but now she's maybe on a different path. Maybe she's taking a different journey now, and I'm kind of excited to see that. Again, yeah, Jeff Johns is like, he's kind of hitting all those things that I want out of this kind of storyline in a really great way. Even though some of it's kind of expected, it's still like bringing like really high levels of enjoyment for me.
Hell yeah, absolutely. What about you, Greg? You got thoughts?
Yeah, man, Geiger's been great. When this issue started, I was a little hesitant at first, just because like these storylines, like this topic always just rubs me the wrong way, obviously for any human being's reasons, right? I never liked those types of stories, but then like when she just destroys like the complete scumbags. And then I thought what I think Nick hit on early was that then she empowered them to then take a stand and do what, it wasn't just the hero comes in, saves the day, moves on and goes. It's no, I'm going to empower you so you can defend yourself and stand up for yourself moving forward. And I was like, yes, I love that. I thought that was great. I'd love to see what those St. Louis Strays or whatever they are, what they do more in the future too. Like, I don't need a series of them, but like they just pop up and like, oh, that's who they are. And they have meaning and they have power because they were given that, right? They were empowered to do so. So I thought that was just a really cool story, and it added a layer of depth here to Geiger, because I know, Robbie, you said it could just be like, oh, girl version of Geiger, like cool, like no, like
she wears hot shorts,
right? Like she makes you fall in love with her, like you know,
she's got a zipper.
It's different though, like they're similar characters, but they're different, and they have a different backstory. They have a different drive, and I thought that was just really well done. And I think that's you know, like we've all said, like you all have said already, I think that's a tip of the hat to what Jeff Johns does with storytelling, and this is great.
Yeah, and the glowing woman it seems like she's more focused on who she is and what she wants to accomplish, and her powers are more focused as a result. And I love that difference between her and the glowing man. What's his name?
Tariq Geiger, right?
Tariq, that's right. Yeah, absolutely. Nick, great pick. Man, we're loving Geiger. That was the one comment I got on my top 20 video of the year. A lot of people are like, where's Geiger? I'm like, I know, man. Geiger should have been on there. No Man's Land should have been on there. I'm sorry, man. I had like 10 more books before a Marvel book would ever make an appearance on my list this year.
I know.
But anyway, Eric, what about you? What's your next pick for round dose?
Let's talk a Marvel book. No, I don't think I have any of those actually.
I would say there might be 2 Marvel books worth discussing this month.
Yeah, there might be.
Yeah, there might be. There actually might be, but not yet, I don't think, because we still have books like Absolute Martian Manhunter that came out. I'm really surprised because, again, you guys know that it's been a challenging read for me. Not to say that I haven't enjoyed it, but I feel like it could have been narratively a little bit more concise. And boy, do I feel like Dennis Camp like tapped into my brain when we got this issue, because this was just like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's kind of like a jumping on kind of issue, right? This sets the stage. Like, it tells us everything that's kind of happened slightly. It kind of like lays the ground for everything that's going to be coming down the pipeline here. And on top of that, we get another dose of wonderful Javier Rodriguez artwork. It was great. And I really love the little clues and the little nuances that it's giving you to kind of showcase like the nature of the White Martian and how he's still around. He's still lurking, you know, closer to, you know, to John than we even anticipate. And again, on top of all of that kind of stuff, we get something very similar to this, you know, issue number 1, which is hard to showcase on camera here, but we get those flip pages, right? Where you get to, you know, have some fun with a physical freaking comic. How cool is that?
Unlock your Martian vision, man.
Yes, exactly. So I have to say, like, throughout this entire series, this one might be my favorite. Maybe not the best one, right? But I think it's my favorite because it's done everything that I've really wanted out of this series.
I love Absolute Martian Manhunter, my favorite Absolute book. It was very high on my top 20 of the year list. Psychedelic noir. The artwork by Rodriguez is absolutely phenomenal. The coloring, it's an essential part of the storytelling. Now, I know that these are visual stories, right? So all comic book art is essential, but this has really fully ingrained itself in becoming very essential. Like, you see the influence of the White Martian through the choices of color, through the choices of the use of shapes, repeated shapes, motifs, and themes that Rodriguez is playing with. And Dennis is a guy who truly collaborates with his people. And you can tell that with his books. Like, everything is so perfect. You can't remove the words, you can't remove the colors, you can't remove the line, you can't remove anything. It wouldn't work without all these pieces together in this format, in this medium, right? And it's something that works solely for comics. It's amazing. It's a drastic reinterpretation of Martian Manhunter, but it brings back that strange weirdness that you must have felt, right? When you're a kid in the 50s reading John Jones from Mars, the Manhunter from Mars comics, that sense of wonder and weird strangeness, high strangeness, some might say, definitely comes through here in Dennis Camp and Rodriguez's work on Absolute Martian Manhunter. And is Haas the letterer?
Yeah, I believe so, right? He has to be.
Yeah. There you go. Then you add that. It's just so perfect. I love this book so much. I'm so glad. It was initially supposed to be 6 issues, and sales were strong. I guarantee you, nowhere in the modern era has a Martian Manhunter book sold this fucking much. Okay, so I guarantee that one. Bearded, you got some thoughts?
Same thoughts as I always have on the series. I'm reading it solely because I don't want to go a show going, well, I didn't read that book. I don't get it. I don't get this one. I'm trying to see what y'all get, and I'm reading this going like, what am I missing? And I can't figure it out. Maybe I'm not high enough, like Robbie, when I'm reading this. I don't know what it is. But like, it just is so like out there that like I can't grasp it. Maybe, maybe that's something about me as a reader, but I love the art. I love the things that, like Eric said, the Martian vision that they're doing. I have no freaking idea what is going on in this book to a degree. Like, I've listened to you all talk about this book for 7 issues. Every single month this comes up. I can't tell you what this book is about or what it's supposed to be. Like, I can't. And like, so I'm reading this going, I don't get this. And it's frustrating because I want to like it, but I just don't know what's going on and I don't get it. So I'm riding along with y'all to see, like, I'm like, are they just like Truman showing me? Like, oh God,
this is like
let's hype this book up. It's so out there. We don't even know what's going on, but we're gonna hype it up like we do, and just like see if we can get Greg to like come along and say it to him. Like, haha, we got you. I don't know. Like, I'm trying, but like, I'm reading it. I don't know what I'm reading half the time, but it's pretty. It looks good.
I appreciate you reading it, and I appreciate your thoughts, man. I understand. I would say it's a simple story told in a complex way, to bring back an old one. But no, it's about a dude who's possessed by an extra dimensional consciousness that is trying to battle this white Martian, which is another extra dimensional consciousness, which is manipulating the world through things like color, heat, and thought. And yeah, I get it, man. Yeah,
that's it.
I understand.
No, I get you.
I get you.
And Carl's collection, like, that's what I usually say. If I wasn't on the show, I would probably not be reading and go, it's not for me. However, because I'm on the show, I want to try to figure out what I'm missing and grasping, because I trust you all so much too with your thoughts. So typically that is 100% what I would do, though.
Yeah, that's one of the fun things, is the way we influence each other is always fun. But I love the idea of Greg being like, are they trolling me, man? Like, are they Andy Kaufmaning me right now? Like, is this like the most elaborate bit? We even got Dennis Camp involved in it, man. And like,
they're like, Robbie's like, hey, Dennis, can you just write this like out there book? And we're gonna try and convince my friend, like, on a show that like it's really good and he has no idea what he's reading. We're just gonna see what he does. All right, can you do that? Like, I got you, Robbie.
Have you ever put a guy with a beard and a hat confused in the background, scratching his head like every 2 pages? That'd be great.
I bet there is. I bet there's a beard, like, Robbie, it's deep. Like, there's a bearded guy in a hat every issue just going,
he's like, I don't get it, dude.
I'm gonna give him a holler and let him throw that idea out there. What's crazy is think about this. This is a 6-issue miniseries that got extended to 12. It's a Martian Manhunter book, and it is done in this kind of rather confusing, experimental, and innovative way. Isn't that crazy that it got pushed into 12? Like, that's nuts. It just shows how much momentum DC has right now, and it's prime for the return of Vertigo this year. And Dennis has got a Vertigo book. I've read the first 3 issues of it. Oh, it's pretty fucking awesome, guys. So you're gonna love it. Nick, you got thoughts on Absolute M&M? That's what I like to call it.
That's a good one. Yeah, I love the book. I think that if you didn't get the first volume, getting into the second volume is going to be really hard, because it's going to just rely on you understanding the base concepts of how this is working, what this is, and it's going to take for granted that the reader knows that kind of stuff, and so it might be difficult. I don't think it's a book you're ever going to get if you didn't get or enjoy the first volume. It's not going to make it any better, I don't think. But I find myself not only enjoying this book a lot, but I'm finding myself slowing down when I'm reading this, because every artistic choice, every color choice, every pattern change, every paneling or composition, I feel, and maybe I'm reading into it too more, but I think the two of you at least would agree, it's very intentional, whatever they're doing, whatever they're visually deciding to show you, that I'm like over analyzing every single page. Like there's a moment in this book where there's a different color pattern that shows up, and it's reds and it's grays and it's blocky. Is it text? Is it not? Is it a weave? Yes, but it might be something else. And you'll see it several times in different moments. And I'm like, okay, what's the connection there? What is that pattern representing? Is it representing a blindness to the world? Because that's what the dialogue is referring to whenever that pattern shows up. It's not as free flowing as like the other thought bubbles and the other thing. So what I'm saying is I'm loving this book. I'm overanalyzing it every time I read it. I'm having a good time doing that. When some books it's annoying to do that, but I'm having a great time doing it with this book. And yeah, I love that it's back and I can't wait for more.
You know, it's one of those books that I've been wanting to reread, like, right? And I keep selling out of the trade in the hardcover, and I haven't picked one up for myself because I know they're going to do 12 issue deluxe edition hardcovers probably, you know, and that's what I'm waiting for. Like, that's what, like, all of it in one volume. But and I can't grab the single issues because they keep selling out too, and they keep reprinting them. It's crazy, man. But I love the book. I think it's super deep. And dude, talk about overanalyzing. I feel so bad sometimes that I'm reading it in the big stack of comics, trying to get a video out as early as I can for people and not really taking the time to truly dive into it. Like I did when I read Drome finally last week, which was
great book.
God damn, y'all. How do you make a 35 panel grid seem spacious? Well, ask Jesse Lonergan.
Ask Jesse, man. He's a master.
Yeah, great book. Great pick, E. All right, Greg, what you got, man? Why don't you tell us? Why don't you try to convince us why Absolute Superman's the best Absolute book?
It's not, but it's still Wonder Woman in my opinion, but I'm not going to go that route. All right, I'm going to do this because like I have a different pick, but I it's just as a safe pick. So I'm going to go with one that it was just fun for me. I love the concept. I love the idea, and I'm here for it. And my simple mind can comprehend it. So I'm going with a pick. I don't think I've ever mentioned one of these books on the show. I'm going to go Bad Idea, and I'm going to go Ordained, issue number 1 by Robert Venditti. Concept of a priest who goes to visit a mobster to get his last, will and testament, basically, as he's on his deathbed. He's like, hey, give me your last confession, absolve you and all this stuff. Dude's done horrible stuff. And so like this priest learns where all the bodies are. And then all of a sudden the next day, this mobster miraculously heals. And he's like, shoot, this priest knows where all the dead bodies are. Crap. We got to kill him now. And it's co-written by like the guy who did John Wick. Like, so this is 100% going to be a movie. This feels like a movie that I'm here for. It was just a fun concept. And like, the action, it's action packed on the second half of the book. I thought it was a really interesting story from that. I'm excited to kind of see where they go. How do they take this? Where do they go from here? I love the newspaper feel of the Bad Idea book. It was a lot of fun from that. So I was just here for it. Like it was fun. It was a concept where I go, I haven't heard that story, kind of told like that, but that's a great concept and idea. And, and this priest has some backstory that we don't know fully yet to why he's so, where he can handle himself against mobsters that are trying to kill him and, the mafioso and stuff like that. And I just had a lot of fun with this book.
I did too. I really did. And one of my favorite things about comics in 2025, and there's a lot of cool things, right? We could do like a whole show about like the big moments of comics, right? Yeah. One of my favorite things is Bad Idea becoming more widely available across comic shops. The actual artifact itself, like you were talking about, like the newsprinty page, like it's great. And they actually make the colors work. Planet Death is another one I've really, really loved. Man, I've had so much fun with their books this year. Cul-de-sac, fantastic book, right? Great, amazing artwork. Ordained. So yeah, it's co-written by the John Wick guy. It is a movie. They've already greenlit it. It stars Colin Farrell. They're about to start making it. It's going to have that
Colin Farrell's the priest.
Colin Farrell's the priest.
That's great. I didn't even know that. That's great. That's a great casting.
Yeah. So when I'm reading the book, I'm thinking Colin Farrell.
Right? I just think of him like in Bruges. I'm like, yep, okay, I'm in. I'm in.
Right, dude. I was telling somebody today. I was like, have you ever seen Banshees of Inisherin? Because we were just talking about modern movies. I was like, it's probably, I think, the best movie of the last 10 years, right? And then I was like, you've seen In Bruges, right? And he goes, no. And I was like, bro, I wrote down Banshees of Inisherin and In Bruges. Is like, watch these. Like, these are like two of the greatest fucking movies in the modern age of cinema. Like, seriously, like so fucking good. Colin Farrell is so fucking good in those too. Anyway, this movie is probably going to feel very much like a John Wick clone, right? Because the idea is that maybe he's got a former secret agent or a former badass or a former, who knows. But I also just love the premise of it. Like I don't know if this is a comic that I would really get into unless it was like really focused in like on a long run and like Preacher-esque type thing where you have a bunch of different characters and you build out a world like that. But just premise alone, this is perfect for a fucking action movie, dude. Like, just perfect. Like, and when I read the book and they're like the next day, the dude like miraculously turns around, he doesn't die. And I'm like, fuck, dude, that's like the first 10, this issue is the first like 10 minutes of the fucking movie. And it's just gonna, if they do it right, it's gonna fucking be cool. And I think the John Wick guy is producing it. So I don't think he's directing it or writing it, but I don't know all the details, but I know it is going to happen and it is Colin Farrell. So that's pretty cool. And I liked it. And it made it a little bit of a spec book. So more people had eyes on it than typically you would a comic, and that most shops may not even have stocked. I kept hearing that from a lot of people that week. What about you, Nick? Did you get a chance to check this one out?
I didn't know. I wanted to. It seemed interesting. You know, a lot of talk about this book and everything. So I'll definitely go back and try to get it. But no, I wasn't able to get my hands on this one yet.
Yeah, that's it. The Russo brothers are producing it. Yeah.
Oh,
and
cool.
I think they got some pull in Hollywood. So
sure.
Yeah.
A little bit. Just a little bit.
A few billion-dollar franchises will do that.
E, did you check this one out?
No. I went hard and heavy with Bad Idea when they first came out, and to be honest, I burned myself out with the pins and all this kind of stuff. And then when they started re-releasing stuff that was already back matter from the previous issues, like Save Now, issue number 1 was like a backup story that was in that time traveling dinosaur book that they put out a couple years ago. So Bad Idea, whenever I see it, I gotta be honest, I kind of side-eye it a little bit. And you know, if you're voting with your dollars, I'm like, man, I gave you a lot of money already, and I kind of felt like I was burned by it, so I skipped this one.
All right, well, thus bringing us to the end of 2 rounds. All right, tell you what, let's go ahead and jump into rapid fire. After rapid fire, everybody, we're going to take just smidge of a break because I'm going to have to go pee and grab another water. But and then we're going to be doing the whole wrap up for the best of the month for the whole year, and I'm very excited, man. So Nick, I'll let you start rapid fire because I got a whole bunch here. So
okay, yeah, sure. You know, Batman Second Night, issue number 2 from DC. That's a great series, man. We have Perkin and Spicer on that one. I love that art creative team whenever they're together on a book. I love the old-timey 30s vibe for this series. I was a big fan of the Second Night, the first series that came out. And it kind of answers the question, hey, when some bad stuff goes down in Gotham, where the hell is Superman? This book has a little bit of that inside of it as well. So I just like the look and the vibe and the feel of this story. It's another early Superman or Batman look, but I've been digging that one. I'm going to jump into Marvel because we're not
gloves, Nick. What color are his gloves?
Are they purple in this one? That's why, right? Yeah. We're not talking
purple. These guys, these asshats just love purple gloves, man.
Look at your old background. You all got purple lights. So purple gloves, purple lights.
That's right. And since we're not counting Marvel for the votes this time, Ultimate Wolverine was a really solid issue. I loved issue number, what was it? Issue number 12, I think it was.
Yeah.
And we have
like
Ultimate Phoenix coming in here, and I just love that, man. Whenever you have Wolverine, whenever you have Logan and Jean Grey getting together, it's always a good time. I just love the revenge mission that we were on in that issue. G.I. Joe has been solid. We had a bunch of different issues that come out with the Dreadnought War. So much freaking fun watching Duke and Cobra teaming up, and we have the Joes coming in and stuff like that. I love what they're doing in G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe is my favorite Energon book right now, and I think it's not even close. And the Dreadnought War has a lot to do with that.
Dude, it's so much fun. That issue where he meets War Pig or Road Pig, right? And he gets his fucking head smashed in by that fucking hammer
with the mallet.
When I had
when he punches him in his fat belly and it just like it jiggles on the page.
Yeah.
So
when I had Joshua on the show, I was like, dude, that's like one of my favorite moments in comics this year. Just like that was perfectly paced. He goes, dude, Tom did such a great job on that. When I saw it, I was like, dude, I don't know how I'm going to explain that this dude lived. Like, he's like, how the fuck is that dude alive after that, man? Like, Jesus.
Yeah,
that was so perfect too. He like sneaks around pigs, wham,
wham,
oh my
knocks
God.
Him out.
And he says very deliberate.
He
says very deliberate Texas Chainsaw Massacre influence. Yeah.
And then a few more. No Man's Land was spectacular. I thought the ending was really solid. It wrapped it all up. We didn't know how demonic or supernatural it could go. I think it had a perfect blend of like myth, legend, lore, but realism involved in it. I like the double agents. I like all the stuff that was happening in that. It's going to make a great collected edition. So definitely check out No Man's Land. Everything Dead and Dying was really solid. I love the premise of that story and just how they're dealing with the zombies and how they're dealing with that story. I'm going to be sad to see it leave, but I really liked where it's gone so far. It feels like a series that can go on for 50 issues. I'm really sad that they're not going to do that. Maybe it'll come back in some other way. Who knows? And then lastly, I'll say Godzilla Escape the Dead Zone. That last issue was awesome, man. I love that series so much right now. It's getting better and better with every single issue. I love the world building, the backstabbing. You can't trust everybody, but everybody knows that, but they fall for the same traps. And it's just so, man, there's just so many cool things happening inside the story with character development and character and world building and everything. And everybody we run into is just a really, just an interesting take on them and expands on the whole story overall. So really loving Escape the Dead Zone. And I'll stop there.
Heck yeah. Escape the Dead Zone has some great art as well. And
Incredible
you're 100% right about No Man's Land. I think it's the best of Zyman's career. And
for sure.
And he's just recently teased out some, out there on socials that maybe there's some other stuff coming. Of course, there's a trade paperback coming that you'll definitely want to pick out because you might see some quotes on there from some of your favorite comic book reviewers that are on this panel right now. Just maybe. As soon as he told me that, I was like, fuck, man, why not? I should have put that on my top 20. I could have kicked something off. Eric, what about you? Rapid fire.
Okay, I'll start with a book that I wanted to bring up, but I was really fearful that it would become the Bear Pirate Viking Queen of this year. Our Soot-Stained Heart. I don't know why I dug this book so much. It's not, and it was a cool book, and I really like the premise. I know the artwork had a heavy hand in it. Stipian Morian's his approach on that is fantastic, but it was like Snowpiercer vibes, and I kind of dug that. So I really, really had a good time with that one. I want to see where it goes though, and I think that's going to reflect how my experience with issue number 1 was.
Art is great. That book made me feel like Greg reading Absolute Martian Manhunter. I had no fucking clue what was going on, man.
I feel the same way. But I also was like, I was right there. I was like, I'm in it. I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but like, let's do this.
You got to meet your quotas, guys, whatever the hell that is.
I don't know. Which probably means I'm going to love this book then. Dang it.
Go. Conan the Barbarian. We're continuing our storyline where Conan the Barbarian becomes King Conan. We get to see how things turn on a dime for him. He's held up, right? Like, I mean, he's the reason that they won this battle, and then all of a sudden, bam, he's behind prison. So it's like, man, like things change like just that quickly for the king, but it causes a revolt. So that's going to be pretty cool to experience. Let's see here. Gotta mention it. Power Fantasy. This was a slower issue. This was definitely an issue where I feel like they had to gear down basically so that we can kind of ramp back up at a later time. But we get some really, really important character work that's happening here, especially as we're ramping up to the mythical issue number 16, which we don't know if it's going to be the end or not. So Kieran, let us know, please, because you're giving me anxiety just trying to figure that out. Okay. A surprising one for me because I was very, very hurt by the fact that the previous team was going to be leaving. But guys, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles still kind of slaps. I had a great time with this one, man. It felt very much more in tune with the historical version of, I feel like, the Turtles. I feel like there was some hand wavy stuff to get them back into the attitudes that they have been known for. And it did kind of like come at the sacrifice from some character development, but I got to say the artwork was still fantastic. I still like what the brothers are doing. I feel like it acted like a really nice launching off point for people to get back on this book, more so than what Aaron's like introduction even did. So that's my rapid fire here, ending off with TMNT.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with TMNT. I knew it'd be fine. I think Gene Lin Yang is a really solid, more than solid writer. Honestly, I mean, I haven't read everything. I mean, I haven't liked everything I've read. Like, I didn't really dig on New Superman or what was the monkey book he did at DC? What, Monkey King or something, maybe?
Monkey Prince.
Prince.
Yeah.
But American Born Chinese, I still think is a must read for comic book fans. And Freddie Williams, I mean, come on. He's drawn tons of this kind of stuff. So I liked it. I was really, really, really solid. And it's so nice to have. I loved what Aaron was doing and especially loved Juan's artwork, right? But like, I love now that we're like back to like Turtles proper. It's built. It's now it's all been set up and that story's been told, and now we can move on, and I love that. Greg, rapid fire.
Escape 5. The fact we haven't talked about Escape. This was one I was going to mention, but I wanted to show some light to Ordained. I love the dialogue between the Bat going to, like going to the house, trying to figure out like what's going on. I just love that setup. I love this world. Remender's killing it in this book. Great add-on to the story. I like Mac Fraction's Batman. I think it's fun. It's not it doesn't need to be, the world's not ending. It's not it's not this like crisis event. It's just fun Batman story. Feels a throwback to the Silver Age. It's a lot of fun for me.
He's not just falling from the fucking moon,
right.
Out of nowhere.
Not yet.
Feral continues to be just a solid book, like horror vibes. What's going on? Very Walking Dead-esque, that like they can take this on for as long as Tony and team wants to go with this, and I'm here for it. I don't even like cats, and sorry, Nick's cat. I hope you didn't hear that, but I'm allergic, so I have a reason. But a great book. I don't think we've done this, so I'm gonna do it just for fun. I'll be a Marvel shill for a rapid fire here. I love Daredevil and Punisher. I think this Jimmy Palmiotti book has been great. I know he's doing the other Punisher book, which I'm not comprehending as well as liking as much, but this, like the dynamic between Daredevil and Punisher here, I think is great. It feels very much like if you like take the Netflix show and put it into a comic book, like that's kind of the groundedness of that book for that. And the last one, just because I feel like this is a book that this panel we raved about forever, and then it fell off a couple issues, and I didn't come out for a year, and it finally wrapped up. Tin Can Society, issue number 9 and 9. I liked how they wrapped up. Issue 7 and 8 kind of started to jump the shark a little bit for me, I feel, and I didn't. But I liked how they wrapped it up, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not mad about the series, because this was a series that was on my favorite book last year, because I think like 2 issues came out this year. It took forever. I loved it, and so like I did like how they wrapped it up. So that's it.
I didn't even read that one because I was like, bro, I don't remember shit, man. After those last 2, man, like I just remember like loving it, and then like being like, what? Yeah. And I was like, I'll just stick it out to the end, and then the end just never came. And that week I was like, bro, I can't deliver a good review on this one because I don't remember shit, dude. I mean,
it helped that there were 4 comics. I picked up 4 comics on Wednesday. That was one of them.
Yeah,
exactly. I think I remember like the guy they thought was dead came back. He wasn't dead or some shit like that. Yep. I think that's when I was like, get the fuck out of here.
And then it was like, and then like his like generated babies were powering the suits, and
oh yeah, Snyder did it though.
Good. Yeah.
So.
Heck yeah. Well, great rapid fire. So for my rapid fire, I'm surprised nobody's mentioned this yet. Assorted Crisis Events, issue number 7.
Yeah.
It wasn't to me the most powerful and hard-hitting issue of Assorted Crisis Events. I thought it was one of the weaker ones, but I still thought it was one of the better comics of the month. But it's the one about the dude who just dead bodies of himself just keep popping in. Like
what's the okay, so take a second if you don't mind. What do you think? Because I'm fascinated by what the message is in that book. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Like,
I didn't really
what does it
too
mean?
much. I don't know. Like Brian was telling me that one really hit him hard. And so I need to find out more about what he picked up from it, because to me, I was like, this just feels like it's meant to be just kind of zany or something. Yeah. But then again, this dude lives alone. He's isolated. So he's like always just, it's himself. And I don't know, maybe it's something about
it's all about capitalism. Make the best of your situation. Like he does, like he has dead bodies of himself popping up, and he's like, I find a way to make money off it, and I can live now and pay my rent now with it by selling the bodies as cadavers. I don't know. Like that's all like it.
Maybe yeah. Something like giving yourself to,
But they even stopped that because they said like, no, we're good. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. They're like, we don't need any more.
Because he eventually just gives up and just allows. Maybe it's about regret, like holding on to like the dead parts of yourselves that you should have let go or cut off or something. I don't know. I need to reread it.
Yeah. There's
still
like a lot of. I have a lot of weak threads on that one, but you're right. That one's not as obvious. Yeah.
Marvel Infernal Hulk issue number 2. I'm really liking Infernal Hulk 2 issues in. Of course, it doesn't hurt that Nick Klein's still on the book. We'll see for how long. I do have all the trades and issues for the initial incredible run by Johnson. And I am planning, I just finished reading all of the Lord of the Rings books for the first time. So now I'm planning on reading that Hulk book, which should take me like no time at all before I jump into another novel. And I'll maybe do a little video for it because this Infernal Hulk book, pretty fucking badass, dude. Kaya, issue number 32. Surprised nobody's mentioned that one yet. Kaya's Kaya. That was a standalone issue. Is very interesting. New issue coming out in a month, I think. Absolute Wonder Woman number 15. First meeting of Absolute Batman and Absolute Wonder Woman. Kelly Thompson nailed it. Hayden Sherman nailed it. I loved their interaction. They didn't do the stupid like heroes meet fight. They got to team up. Like it was such an honest and grounded meeting of personalities that I really, really liked. This book's dumb as fuck, but I like it. Final Boss issue number 2. This is like watching a shitty ass canon film, right? Like a fighting tournament. Like this is not as good as Bloodsport, but it's Bloodsport-esque, a little bit Mortal Kombat. It's got that vibe, but it feels straight up like a Top Cow book from the fucking 90s. And I don't even mean one of the better ones like Darkness. I'm talking about shit like Spirit of the Tau or something like that.
Oh,
this book is fucking terrible, but I think it's intentionally done this way. I really do. I've convinced myself it's intentionally done this way, and it's so much fucking fun.
Like some of the graphic fight scenes are insane too.
It's
like,
great.
Like this second issue, that was like holy buckets. So
yeah, I had fun with it. And then Ultimate Endgame issue number 1. I was a little thrown off by the different artists. You know, that could have been ironed out, I think, a little bit better, but Dennis Camp playing with some crazy ass concepts. I love the ending of it and how it kind of fulfilled our expectation, but also subverted it just a little bit. Rook Exodus issue number 9, not part of the Unnamed universe, but it is a Ghost Machine book. Jason Fabick's artwork, absolutely splendid. And I am so into every new warden that we get introduced to. And we see the Spider Warden and all that shit. I'm just loving it, dude. And like, why is Ghost Machine not have toys made yet? Like it's
criminal.
Perfect.
Don't they have them coming out though?
I thought they have Junkyard Joe, right?
They have a Joe figure.
I think they have a Junkyard Joe coming out, or from what's the toy? I don't even remember the toy.
Well, bro, they can have 2 full waves just on Rook Exodus alone, right?
Yeah.
And then how about event tie-ins that actually fucking work? DCKO Night Fight issue number 2.
2 is way better.
I like that one. It's really
so
good.
much better than 1.
Yeah. I loved it. Artistically, it's great. I love when he's in the Red Hood world. It's all like black, white, red, and gray. I love how it's not just it's a tie-in that you could skip narratively. It doesn't really matter to DCKO, but when Batman disappears or gets killed by the Joker and disappears, if you want to know where he's going in his journey when he inevitably comes back, this is the book to give you that.
Batman's never gone.
Yeah, exactly. And I like that, but I like how Williamson is using this as an excuse to explore his relationship with the Robins and more about the fears of what his influence will do to his Robins, right? Yep. I love that. And Dan Mora.
Yeah.
Just so exciting. And that's my rapid fire. That is pretty much the show, y'all, but we got the best part coming right up. I got to go take a whiz. When we come back, Nick is going to be, or y'all can stay and talk. I don't care, but I'm dipping out for a second. And when I come back and Nick's back, anyway, the best comics of the month, year-end review. Who is the Marvel shill? Who is our favorite? I don't know all the categories that Nick has.
Yeah, y'all have no idea. I got some cool stuff planned.
Yeah. I'm very excited. We'll get to that in just a minute, y'all.
Man, the chat's letting me know I miss Santos Sisters. I love that book. I think it's a lot of fun. I didn't realize another issue came out because it's so
number 10
of when they did.
That was a really funny one too. Yeah, it's always nice to see that book pop up. You just never know what kind of short stories you're going to get, and the production value is always really nice on that one. And then all the little ads in the back are just a whole other treat. It's really fun.
And then what they do with American Nature, like I'm like Greg and Fake, like the creators are names Greg and Fake, like, and like they reached out to me in the summer, like, hey, you want to do an interview? Like I wasn't aware of this book at the time, and I'm like,
yeah,
dude's names Greg and Fake are like, I'm like, do I want to do this? And I read some issue. I'm like, man, this is a lot of fun. Like, I'm here for it. So I was like, I loved it. And then like a week after we did the interview, they won the Eisner. So I was like, all right, that works. So cool. So,
they got that bearded bump, you know?
Yeah. I'll take credit for that. Yeah. You hop on my show. You're gonna. That's the complete opposite of what happened. I think when I had Kyle Starks on, it was like his 0 for 3 on his Eisner nominations. So
you got him a nom though. We met Greg and Fake at Heroes not this past year, but the year before, and they had a whole table full of stuff. And that was when I just learned who they were from Taki. And it was really cool. But I got to be honest, man, I was none the wiser. I was like, I don't know which one you are. I don't know who you are. I don't know if you're the guys. I never seen them before. I
think we only saw one of them at the table, and I don't know if it was Greg or Fake. So
no idea.
And there's another guy who couldn't make it on the show who also kind of co-writes, because I think Fake is the artist and I think Greg's the writer, and Greg co-writes and stuff. And so I was like, but like even in the interview, like they're like one's up front on the camera, one's like seated back in the shadows, and I'm like, it was just like the vibe is like, I'm like, are they like trying to like kind of parody troll me? And I'm like, this is fun either way. I'm here for it. So
they're cool dudes.
I gotta check that out.
Check out Santos Sisters. Yeah.
I gotta check out issue 10. I love it.
All right, how are y'all doing?
We're just keeping the show going, Robbie. We're thriving. We're thriving.
All right. I got the that hardcover of Santos Sisters, and I got the issue that Eric got the ad in. But I've never read any of it yet. I haven't read it yet.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, it takes some time. I used to never be this guy, but I have fallen so fucking far behind. I don't fall behind on my weeklies, but because of the weekly comic book review, I've definitely, because of doing that for almost 10 years, I've definitely fallen behind on pleasure reads. You know what I'm saying? Where like, absolutely. All right. Just like last year, Greg surprised us and went through and put together a list of like, who is the top writer according to our rankings throughout the year, who are the best artists. And he revealed who the Marvel shill was. It was Nick. Nick volunteered this year.
And then like what Nick does is he takes the concept and makes it a lot better. So
well, Nick volunteered to handle it. Nick's been, now that we knew that we wanted to do something like this, Nick was able to pay attention from the very beginning, right? And I cannot wait to see what happens here. Nick, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you did and then just run us through it, brother? Yeah,
man. Yeah. So we have the best of the best, right? We have the year-end review. And basically, if you see me kind of like off, not really paying attention, but whatever during other people's things, it's because I'm collecting data. I'm putting together some points. So we're going to be going over how many comics we reviewed, the top picks, honorable mentions, rapid fires, how many writers, things like that, favorite letterers, favorite colorists, favorite artists, all kinds of good stuff, best writers. And we're going to talk about the people who picked what publishers the most, leading us to the ultimate end game, which is the Marvel shill of the year. So let's get into it.
I'm next, so excited.
Man. So we got some random stats real quick. So we talked about 367 different comics, 53 top picks were mentioned, 56 honorable mentions, and 258 rather rapid fires total. That's a lot of books in a single year right there. And
we read some comics, man.
We did read some comics. Robbie always has a lot more rapid fires than we do because he typically closes that out right there. And man, we had a lot of rapid fires, a lot of top picks, and we had some rotating guests throughout the year, some people dropping out here and there. And we had a lot of comics we talked about. Let's go into some more of the stats right here. We have 120 different writers were mentioned. Books that they were writing, 162 artists, 123 colorists, and 67 different letterers, if you can believe it. I was kind of
that's insane because I feel like 67 of those comics are all Hassan.
Yes,
I know.
Yeah, and the other ones are like Aditya and like Clayton, and then that's about like Russ Wooten.
Russ
Wooten and Justin Birch.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so just I was blown away by that. Even when because I track all this on my own as well, the books that I read, and I'm like, I cannot believe there was that many different people out there. So let's see who the top letterers were that we just mentioned. So we had Haas, of course, we had Clayton, and we had Wooten as well. So those are our top 3 most mentioned letterers that were on comics that we talked about the most. Any surprises there? We just mentioned them. I think so.
No surprises for me.
There.
None.
Yeah. Usually Bidikar would be on the list, but he actually kind of took on less work this year because I think he's been working on writing and drawing his own stuff too. So, but no, all 3 of these are great. I mean, Clayton gets a lot of the big Marvel gigs, especially too.
Yeah.
But he's very capable. Russ Wooten is absolutely
Clayton does a lot of Tom King books too, right?
Clayton does. Yeah, he does.
Yeah. And this is in order too. So Haas got number 1, Clayton 2, and Russ 3. So it's in order from left to right there.
We got a special guest with us, y'all. Stu, what's up, man?
Oh, he made it.
Just in time to see him get the Marvel Shill Award.
What's up, dude?
Hell yeah. Fingers crossed.
Yep. We just did Letterer. We're gonna get in the colorist next. You guys ready? Top 4. We got Jordy Belair. We have Mike Spicer, Brad Anderson, and Brad Simpson. We got 2 Brads towards the end there for most talked about colorists on books for this year.
Wow. I thought that, last year, I think that Jordy wasn't as strong, but this year, work on G.I. Joe Assorted Crisis events, absolutely amazing. Mike Spicer, Brad Anderson, Brad Simpson. I'm glad to see Brad Simpson on there because I think Brad Simpson is severely underappreciated. No Dave Stewart. We're not
Simpson's
the eyes
on Farrell, right?
What'd you say?
Simpson's on Farrell, right?
I think Simpson's on Farrell. He's also the artist that typically colors Danny.
And then Anderson's doing all basically Ghost Machine.
Yeah, Brad. Yeah. Anderson, yep. That's right. And so that's that. So next up we have most talked about artists. Of course, we have Sherman, we have Wes Craig, we have Casper, Marazzo, Samney, and Dragata. So I wanted to expand this one out a little bit more than the other ones because there's a lot of great names here, and we can all think of comics that these guys were a part of. But what a cast right there.
So is Eric the Wes Craig and Casper Wingard shill from Kaya?
Probably.
I would be honored to have.
I'm just saying, like, those are the 2 books that Eric talked about every single month. So there's a reason they're on there.
I definitely figured Hayden would be at the top of that list for sure.
Yeah.
Just between their work on Dark Patterns.
Absolute whoa.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. And again, these are top picks of the month, and these are everything but rapid fire. So, because rapid fire really screws up the numbers. But yeah, so these are the best of the best.
We didn't really talk about Mark Spears' Monsters. So like his cover work and art's great. We just didn't talk about that book.
Yeah, we talked about it maybe like once or twice, but that was about it.
Maybe, yeah. And he put out like 600 covers in the past year. So shout out to that guy for putting out some shit, man.
And that's not something we talk about, the cover artist, as much.
Whew. Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, we should. Yeah, that gets a little complicated, but yeah, that'd be something interesting to track. Yeah. All right, we're gonna go into writers next. Anybody have any guesses on who is in the top 3 for best writers? I think that's gonna be fun.
Hold on. I mean, Jeff Johns has got to be up there with Redcoat and Geiger. I feel like
Camp's up there.
Dennis
is up there with Assorted Crisis and Absolute Man. Dennis is it with Absolute.
We think Dennis is in the top 3. Okay, I have the top 3. Top 3 is.
Hold on.
Oh nope, too late.
No, it's fine.
Jason Aaron, top.
Whoa.
Dennis Camp, Dan Waters.
Okay,
nice. So it's TMNT and it's Absolute Superman for Jason, then, right?
And then
Bug Wars,
Dark Patterns, and Invisible Man probably for Dan.
Yeah. Jason had a lot of different books. I'm
surprised
Bug Wars.
Jeff isn't up there as much as we talked about Redcoat and Geiger.
I know. TMNT, Bug Wars, and Absolute Superman really.
Okay.
Kind of took it.
Dennis
over
makes
right
sense. Dan, with Dan, it's Dark Patterns. But what else?
Invisible Man.
James
Invisible Man
Tynan
was brought up every time.
Tynan did Invisible Man.
Who did?
James Tynan.
Tynan did.
Tynan did. So what was
he did Destro, but that was last year.
So he did some. So Shredder was brought up. We had and every issue of Dark Patterns was brought up.
Yeah, Dark Patterns was just one of the best of the year.
12 months every month. Yeah, I mean that was
Twilight Zone, Detective. He had a detective. He was part of a detective thing. He did Jinx, the Real American Hero Jinx, I think.
Yep. That silent issue. Yeah, with Danny. Yeah.
So when you start adding up like every issue of freaking Dark Patterns that was brought up, that just
Well, I think he definitely deserves a place in the top writers of the year because I really think he's leveled up, and I think like I want him to be the next writer on Detective Comics, right? Yeah. Like Taylor's doing a fine job, but when he's ready to do something else, imagine Dan Waters and Hayden doing the exact same thing that they did with Dark Patterns, but on Detective. I would love that. I would love that 100%.
Yep. Oh, we lost Stu. No, we have one more stat, then we got some shills to go over. So let's get into it. We have most talked about publishers. Number 1, Image Comics, 139 different Image books. We had number 2 DC with 94, so a big jump there. We had Marvel with 38, believe it or not, mostly in the rapid fire section. We had IDW over there with, yep. We had IDW at 20. We had Dark Horse at 19, so close for that fourth and fifth spot right there.
Wow.
But no surprise there. Image reigns supreme for sure.
My surprise is that Marvel is number 3. Honestly, like
really,
I didn't. But
oh, you thought it'd be lower?
I thought it would be a little bit lower. I really did, man. I really did.
I feel like we talk about Image and DC so much, so like the other ones just I don't know. Like Marvel's up there though.
Yeah, IDW would actually be lower without Turtles, probably.
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, probably. I can pull up the raw stats here and show you the sheet too later if you guys want to get into that.
IDW, man, what a terrible logo, man.
Yeah, I probably pulled
laser disc. Is that an LD? What is this? What's going on?
It's their new logo. They love it.
Do they?
I like that Dark Horse is at 19 though. We talked about a bunch of books, and I think Mad Cave would be sneaking in.
Dark Horse had some good ones. Who Are the Power Pals? Robbie and I talked about a bunch.
Bowling with Corpses, which nobody read but me. That was great.
I still got to find that book.
I just got it just like 2 months ago. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we got some shill action. We lost Stu though, but that's okay. We can get into this one. So we're gonna start with the DC shill. Who's our DC shill? Who do we think? Who mentioned the most DC books in their top?
I feel like it's me, but I also feel like there were many times, because I'm always fourth on the panel, that Eric or Nick would be like, I'm gonna talk about Batman and Robin. So then I have to like change my pick. So like,
I would say it's me or Greg.
I'm gonna still say it's me.
All right.
But no, I don't know, because absolutely me and Mark. Oh, I don't know.
The DC.
I want to see Greg on a game show, man, like a Wheel of Fortune or something.
I wouldn't win, but it'd be entertaining.
All right. You guys ready? The DC shill for this year. All these were really close, mind you. There wasn't like a blow away, like this is, this is the guy. But we did have somebody that had more picks than anybody else. That guy was none other than 9-Panel Grid.
Whoa.
Batman and Robin. I'm telling you.
All that Green Arrow love, man.
It had to have been Green Arrow and Batman and Robin. Had to. Wow.
Because Eric always was right before me and like, I know Greg's going to pick this, so I'm going to mention Batman and Robin. And then I missed 2 episodes, and I missed issue 12, and yeah.
That's funny. Next up is the Image shill. This is this might be difficult. Any guesses there? But Image was the most talked about publisher of the year. We all had plenty of them. Who was the shill? Who do we think?
I'd say me.
You'd say you?
Okay.
What do y'all think?
This is like, yeah. I mean, you could throw a hand grenade. It could hit.
Yeah, I mean, if you any one of us, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
I'll go Robbie.
This is a tough one. Eric, any guesses?
I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna say Nick.
Me? All right. Yeah. Our Image shill.
Oh,
yeah, it was me.
Hold it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. The next one I added this one. This is the non-big 3 shill. So these are the people that Ignition Press. We had Dark Horse, Oni, Dynamite, Distillery, Boom, Fantagraphics, Mad Cave, Bad Idea, EC, IDW, just name it, right? Titan Comics, everybody. Superhero, doesn't even matter. Anybody but DC, Marvel, and Image. Who do you think brought up the most? We'll call it the independent category.
I would say me.
I'm gonna say Robbie. Robbie's the American mythology shill.
I'm saying me because of Dark Horse, Mad Cave. I feel like I showed love to them. I'm gonna say me.
Yep.
Okay. Me. I'm calling my own name.
All right. Yeah, Greg, you do pull out a lot of those.
Bad idea tonight. Like I'm calling me.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. All right. The shill for the independents was a tie for myself and Robbie.
Not even me.
Oh, Greg, you missed a couple months. I think
that's my issue.
Robbie and I were there because I looked it up and I'm like, if you kept your pattern, you know what I mean? Like if you were, So I think you missed a few months, you would have gotten it for sure.
Yeah, my kid had to go to freaking urgent care last month, and then I had to go trick-or-treating with my kids.
Priorities, right?
Why do I got to be a parent?
Yeah.
Goddamn, I'm getting penalized for being a fucking parent.
I'm being a good dad. I'm getting penalized on a comic show.
I would. Do you got it broken down? Who is the Dynamite shill?
You. Hang on a second.
Because I would say it might be you, because you mentioned Space Ghost a lot, man.
I didn't.
I'm talking about Nick.
Greg, you mentioned a Dynamite book once. I might have my filters wrong. And Robbie, you had 8. So I got to check my filters though. So I might be filtering everything at the moment.
Dynamite's great, by the way. Friends of the show.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. The moment we've all been waiting for. The elusive Marvel shill for 2025. Any guesses?
Crap. I thought I was safe because I already got 1 shill notification, but now you got 2, so that means it's still open. Crap.
Yeah, I swear to God, it better not be me, dude.
Oh,
if I didn't get the independent shill, the 100% safe here. 100% safe.
You may have picked so many Marvel books though.
There's no doubt. Nope, I'm safe.
All right. The Marvel shill of 2025. Best comics of the month over at Pop Culture Philosophers is Stu.
Oh!
It's in the name.
Congratulations, Stu.
Is that Ric Flair down there?
That is a generic old white man laughing, along with some,
like Ric Flair,
some females laughing, and of course a donkey. So they're all going to laugh at you.
Congratulations, here with
Stu.
You got it.
Everything you want to say to the crowd, Stu? There you go. Congratulations.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious, man.
Yep.
What was it? Was it the Doom stuff? Was it
yeah, probably. Let me yeah.
Is there like a special ceremony, like a handing off of from shill to shill? Nick, do you have anything that you need to like?
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah. Like bestowing.
It's like we got to find like the reverse of like all the fantasy football team punishments where it's like you got to sit in a Waffle House for 24 hours and every waffle you eat, you get to take a time off your like. So we need to send the Marvel shill to a comic shop. And for every trade paperback you read of a Marvel book, like you get an hour off of your sentence or something.
Seems complex.
That's it.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna have to do it, so like I don't care. Like I think we should make this complex, Robbie.
I was gonna say we had Nick making spreadsheets for 12 consistent months.
It's gonna be Nick, Eric, or Stu every month, so every year, so we won't have to worry about it.
Oh, I doubt that, man. Marvel might have a turnaround, man. It might become a badge of honor to become a Marvel shill. It used to be, you know.
How close was the Marvel shill though, Nick? That's the real question.
Close. It was one book. One book.
One pick away was number 2.
One pick away. So it was you and Eric tied. Let me see the numbers here. You, Eric, and Greg all tied, and then Stu had one more.
Oh, Greg.
Holy cow.
Close.
Yeah. I had one less than the 3 of you. And then you tied with Jem too. If you add Jem to it, because he picked a lot of Marvel books as well.
I guess because I talked about Captain America and I talked about Fantastic Four probably.
Yep.
What the fuck was I talking about?
Daredevil, Cold Day in Hell. I probably got all 3 of those.
Let me see here.
Probably some Ultimates or some shit, man.
Yeah. Did issue number 4 come out this year? I think I might have mentioned that one.
Marvel.
I may have said something about One World Under Doom number 4.
So Cold Day in Hell made up a couple. Captain America 1. That was one of Greg's.
Okay.
Ultimates 10. Stu picked that for as like a top. We had some Jem pick some Age of Revelation stuff. We had Imperial number 1 popping up in there before that series went to hell. We had Aliens and Avengers. That was one of the ones I picked.
Oh, yeah.
Spider-Man Wolverine. We had Storm number 5. These sounds like Stu picks to me.
Spider-Man Wolverine sounds like a me pick too, man. That first issue in particular, those first couple were really good.
Spider-Man, that was one of yours. Fantastic Four number 2 was one of Jem's picks, and Deadpool Batman, I think that was one of Greg's.
Oh, because I got the Marvel show because it was Deadpool Batman, not Batman. That's BS. If I would have gotten the Marvel show because of that notation, I would have been so livid and called felonious on all accounts on this.
We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out, Stu. That's what.
We got to figure it out. Bud.
No, I don't think anybody said Eddie Brock Carnage. Man,
no,
that was fun.
Yeah, man,
that's some great work, dude. That you've done, man.
Thanks.
Yeah,
good time.
Heck yeah. All right, so that's it.
Congratulations, everyone.
Run through that again if you want to, dude. Could you mind?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do it. Let's just do one more little quick run through.
So I'll go to the very, very beginning. Let me go all the way back. So we covered 367 comics, 53 top picks, 56 honorable mentions, 258 rapid fires talked about in the past 12 months.
And 255 of those were Robbie's.
Yeah, exactly. Those stats include 120 writers, 162 different artists, 123 colorists, and 67 letterers, which is a surprising stat like we talked about. We can't believe there's that many different ones. Our top 3 letterers was Haas, Clayton, and Russ. No big surprises there, I don't think. There's probably 3 or 4 others that could have snuck into that 3rd place spot, undoubtedly. But those are the top 3 that we mentioned the most. We had 4 different colorists that were mentioned the most. Of course, we had Jordy, we had Mike Spicer, Brad and Brad. We had Anderson and Simpson right there. So no big surprises there, I don't think, either. Artist-wise, we had a bunch of different ones. I wanted to mention we had Hayden Sherman taking that number 1 spot, Wes Craig taking that number 2. Then we had Casper, Samney, Morazzo, and Dragata. No big surprises there, I don't think. Hayden Sherman did a ton of work this year.
I will say, surprised though. Speaking of Martin, you guys didn't mention Superman Kryptonite, and I'm surprised. So,
Kryptonite Spectrum, yeah. I think we did the right move.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying.
Yeah, the no Dan Moore thing is interesting too.
Yeah, no, we didn't pick a whole lot of.
Well, it's because Justice League Unlimited isn't. Yeah, we.
And then he was still strong on World's Finest, like which weren't ones we were talking about a lot.
We weren't talking about them. Yeah. Top 3 writers: Jason Aaron, just doing some, just some solid work overall with 3 or 4 different books. That's why he was mentioned the most. Of course, we have Dennis Camp doing big titles and on 3 different publishers, doing some amazing work, and Dan Waters killing it on the Dark Patterns era. So we basically talked about that book every single month. So, yep, our top 3 writers right there.
This is the most surprising for me right there. Was the writers.
Yeah, I would not have picked those 3.
No.
Yeah.
One of the 3, yes.
Aaron was a big surprise.
Dennis was an easy sell. Like, I knew, but I'm surprised the other 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Top publishers, of course, Image comes in number 1 with 139 rather. Number 2 was the DC Comics with 94, Marvel with 38, IDW with 20, and Dark Horse with 19. So pretty close once you start getting to that 3rd or that 4th and 5th spot. We had a bunch of different publishers, as we already mentioned, that we talked about, but Image takes the spot right there. The Shills, DC, with Eric from 9 Panel Grid, stealing that one right there from us. I think you had about 8 or 9 different top picks mentioned there, or picks or secondary picks that you mentioned. We had me coming in there with the Image Shill. Robbie, you were right there. I think we're like 1 apart, so not too far away. We all love our Image, as we've seen. We had the independent Shills, a little tie right there for that, but I think we can all bow down to Greg. If we had 12 months under there, we probably would have bowed down to Greg in this category here. But lots of different books mentioned.
I'll take it.
I just love that penthouse thumbnail that you did, Robbie. So I stole that one for this.
Yeah,
image.
that's one of my favorite pictures I've ever taken.
I love it. It's so good. And of course, we had our Marvel shill, Stu, Dr. Doom's fan club. Thanks, buddy, for taking one for the team there. I'm glad you're in the chat, dude.
I love how I made half the shows and still took the crown. Goddamn, do I know good comics? And I agree, Metal Elf. Great stat keeping.
Absolutely. We'll start back up in January, see where it goes, man.
We'll find out who the Marvel Shield will be next year and if that's going to be a good or a bad thing. Anyway, thank you all.
It's going to be Stu, and he's going to only have to show up for 2 shows, and it'll be the show. Apparently, that's what we've learned. We can talk about Marvel all we want. As long as Stu hops on 4 episodes, we're good.
That's true. That's true. We got to remember that. So we'll see. Right now, it's not looking so good, but, I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, Thank you all so much for joining us for another year of the best comics of the month, the monthly comic book review. We're continuing on in 2026. Nick, thank you. Eric, thank you. Greg, thank you. Stu, thank you. Everybody else who's been a part of the show. This is one of the most fun shows to do, getting together, talking about comic books. It's always fun talking shit to each other or just like dissecting something. I love the discussions we have here. You guys are the best. Go check out their channels. They have better comic book reviews and content than I do. And it's all in the description down below. So go and check them out, sub up. Also, they've been dropping some great end of the year stuff. Nick and Eric in particular have some really solid top 20 lists or whatever, or best comics of the year list to check out with some really, damn, y'all. Putting some fucking work in. I love it, man. So good. So good. Anyway, Thank you all so much for watching the show. Without you, we wouldn't be here doing it. Actually, we probably would, but we're glad that you're here doing it along with us. So thank you for not just watching the show, but joining along in the conversations, in the live chats, and when you're watching on the replay. We're about to dip out, but we all got some other things to do coming up. So Nick, why don't you tell us what you got coming up?
Yeah, regular stuff. I took a couple of weeks off just for the holidays and traveling and whatnot. But just if you haven't checked out the best of the year video that I put out for 2025, go check that one out. It's not a top whatever. It's just my favorite comics in just random order. And you can find those timestamps in the description that everybody loves so damn much. So yeah, those are in there. And then one thumbnail I didn't send you was me and Eric did the comic book look ahead for January. So if you want to see what's coming out in January and plan your pull list accordingly, you can check that video out. It's in my live section over on my YouTube channel. And thanks again, Eric, for hanging out with me during that show.
Always a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thanks, bud.
Eric, what you got coming up?
All right. Dropping actually right now for members on the channel, but dropping tomorrow morning for everyone else here, the weekly comic book thoughts, since I can't say reviews here, on the pull list every single Sunday, going over the week's comic books. This week was a doozy. I gotta say, man, it was tough. It was really, really tough, but I managed to get some pretty decent comics read and reviewed, and it's going to be a fun time. Outside of that, every single month I get things outside of the floppies here. So I got my comic book haul that's going to be dropping here probably next week officially here. So be on the lookout for that, where spoilers, Lone Wolf and Cub Deluxe Edition came out, and it is glorious. So be on the lookout.
I got one too, man. I'm so fucking excited, dude. I was so excited when I found out those were coming, man. There's going to be a shit ton of them.
I know.
Maybe like 3, I think.
No, it's 6, I think.
6? Like the first 19 I thought are collected in that issue. Okay, well, we'll see. Cool. Yeah. Let's go.
Heck, how many of the little books were there? Because there was like 30,
45 first publishing. So
okay.
I don't know.
Wow. Man, I'm really excited to dive
into
that.
I'm loving it.
The more the merrier.
Greg, thank you for being here. You weren't a shill at all, apparently, man.
I'm not a shill. That's because I'm a parent. That's apparently what happened.
He's a little kid shill.
What you got coming up, man?
Speaking of Marvel shill, I'm not a Marvel shill, but I interview Marvel creators. I had Steve Orlando on the show before I took a couple weeks off to be with the fam. We talked about Sorcerer Supreme. We also talked a lot about DC AEW comic coming up soon. So if you like wrestling, that's right there. So, but make sure you check out my interview with Robbie's favorite writer. And then next Monday, I'm back in the routine of regular creators. I got Sheldon Allen on. We talked about his comic from AWA called They Chose Violence. Really cool. So check that out. But yeah, I do comic creator interviews because I can't put out the content that Nick and Eric and Robbie do. So I just talk to creators because they'll talk to me. So that's what I do.
Well, you do a great job at it too, man.
That's great, man.
So
yeah,
thanks.
You do a great job reviewing comics, and on Instagram, don't let him undersell himself. He does his little 3 comics I'm most looking forward to.
Mm-hmm. I do the shorts and the reels. I try to do what comics I'm looking for on Tuesday, and then I always do I like the jokes. I like to have the fun. So
coming up here, Rockin Robbie Live tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central Time. We're just gonna be hanging out, talking about whatever you want to. But the more important thing is that PCP Movie Night is returning on Monday night for the 2026 season. We got a lot of fun lined up for this year. 4 movie reviews. We kick it off Monday night with the entire Jurassic franchise. That's every Jurassic Park, every Jurassic World movie, all covered. It's going to be fun. Verno's going to be there. Jelani and Brooks are going to be there. Joe Corallo will be there, probably shitting all over the movies. And then the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition is going to be there. So that's 6 people talking about 7 movies. It's going to be a marathon, but it's going to be worth it. The following week, we're going to be talking about Michael Mann's Heat. The week after that, we're talking about The Running Man, the good one. That's right, the one from 1987. And then we dive for the first time into Italian cinema that's not horror or giallo. We're talking about Federico Fellini's 8.5. That's the lineup for
Italian
January.
horror movies.
Fantastic stuff. All right, we are dipping out. We love you. You are the best. And don't forget, keep on reading.